Welcome back, guys, to Keto Cooking with Kids. This week for the kids' school lunches, we're going to have keto corn dogs, which I got from ruledme.com. And then we're going to make deli roll ups, which are basically like any sandwich fixings inside some deli meat and without the bread. And then we'll also have some peanut butter jelly cookie sandwiches. So let's get started. These are the cookies or the sandwich cookies that we're going to be using for the peanut butter and jelly cookie sandwiches. I got this recipe from alldayidreamaboutfood.com. I love her recipes. Almost all of them have been like home runs in taste and texture and everything. So you guys should check out her site. But what I do is I make a quadruple batch of these to save on time, and then I freeze them and pull them out whenever we need them. And these are good for like a breakfast cookie with coffee too. I've used these for s'mores before. They have like a lot of different uses. But this week we're gonna put them in the kids' lunches instead of an actual cookie, and they're a great substitute. Each one of these cookies only has 1 to 1.5 net carbs, depending on the size. And I think each one is like 2.5 total carbs. So it's nice because these aren't high in total carbs, if you count total carbs, that you can still have a little bit of a treat. So you can either break these apart like this, and then break them in or cut them into smaller pieces, or you can just use the knife right away. Okay? Do you want a bowl to put them in? So for the fresh veggies that I got this week, Ethan is cutting up some cauliflower, and I also bought a package of sugar snap peas.
Yeah. So I'm just cutting up the strawberries right now.
You probably won't see a lot of ketoers eat these because they say they're higher in carbs, but for 15 pods, there's 4 total carbs. So it just depends on how much you're having, but that's really not a lot of carbs, especially for the kids during the day at school. Tiana's cutting up strawberries again, and then I also washed up some blueberries and blackberries.
Which is hard for me to cut strawberries.
You're good at them.
I thought that was bad.
No, you're good at strawberries. You did this last week too.
Terrible.
Ethan.
Yes. She's terrible.
Be nice.
Yes.
Tiana got a new haircut. She got bangs this week, right?
I got new bangs!
Bangs! And Ethan just got his haircut too.
My hair.
Oh, Tiana, we still need covers for these. Can you?
Look what I'm doing, cutting them in half.
You're doing good. When you're doing strawberries, they tend to stay fresher when they're whole for later on in the week. So if she cuts them up into small pieces, I'll have her put the ones that are completely cut like into little chunks earlier in the week, and then she can keep the bigger ones for later on in the week. I wanted to show you guys this. This lunch container is starting to crack. I put mine in the dishwasher, but I like that these are cheap enough that it doesn't matter to me if they crack a little bit. If I'm going to be putting something that is runny in here, like cottage cheese or something, then I would put press and seal around this container. And since this one is cracked, I probably wouldn't put the cottage cheese in this one, but it works just fine for like strawberries or blueberries. And I'll just keep this until it cracks quite a bit more, and then I'll toss it and buy a new set. But these have lasted probably over a year now, and we haven't had to do many replacements on them. I used to use these smaller containers. This is a Fit and Fresh brand, and I liked them because they had this little dip spot that you could just set right in here and put the cover on, and it would stay sealed like this. And then there was a cover that went on top of this, and we use these Tupperware sandwich containers. The only thing is that we stopped using these because it was so many dishes. you'd have to wash 5-6 things instead of 2 things with these. So that's why we decided to switch. So I'm gonna get started and put peanut butter and jelly on these crackers, smush them together, and then they'll have those on like Monday and Wednesday probably. You can make your own sugar-free jam. I think there's a really good recipe with chia seeds that I haven't tried yet, but a lot of people have said it's delicious. But for now, I just got this sugar-free Smucker's jam. It's got 5 total carbs. And I don't like that it has maltodextrin in it, which is a sweetener that's not really preferred. It can create some digestive upset, but time is money, right? So until I get to the point of canning my own jam, like this is what I'm going to use for now. So what I do for peanut butter to make it a little bit sweeter is I buy unsweetened organic peanut butter, and the only ingredients in this are peanuts and organic peanuts and sea salt. And then I take some stevia drops and I put about 7 drops in the whole container and mix it in with the oil. It ends up being a little bit sweeter for them and they tend to like it a lot more. Now when I was first transitioning them, what I did, they're gonna hear all of this, but what I did was I took the regular peanut butter and I would mix half of this in with their regular peanut butter so that they could start getting used to this different type of peanut butter. I do the same thing with almond butter. So when I buy this, I just mix it up good and then I add some drops of stevia to sweeten it, and then it tastes a little bit better. They also have these small little packages of almond butter. These are nice in a pinch, like if we're out of town, I could just grab one of these and they're really easy in the car. They have 6 total carbs and 3 grams of fiber. But if you want to save money, this is the way to go. Just get a big container like this and then portion it out yourself in smaller containers. The thing with the packages then is that I don't add any stevia to it because I'm not going to open it up and put the sweetener in there. So these are just the classic almond butter, so they don't have anything sweetened in them. Peanut butter and jelly.
Can I have it?
That's for Tiana's lunch.
Okay.
I actually like using the almond butter better because it's less runny. Stays nicer in their lunch. Ethan, do you want one? A cookie sandwich?
Mom, can I have a cookie sandwich? Mom, can I have a cookie sandwich?
Yeah, just a second. So this total thing probably has about 3 to 4 carbs. If you think that these will get messy with the kids like moving around during the day, you could always wrap them individually with like saran wrap or
like tin foil to wrap
tin
it.
foil.
Or a bag to wrap it in.
Yeah.
Now it's coming. I'm very stressed. We're gonna take them back when you and I.
I'm gonna wrap Tiana's because she rides the bus and so her stuff gets jumbled around quite a bit.
Mom, we're done. See what the. Can we get. Mom, there's still some blueberries and some strawberries left.
Tiana, you have to fill Brother's up. Why are you filling yours up more than his? He eats more than you.
Look, even look.
I'm just putting some dairy-free ranch into Ethan's lunches for his veggies to dip in. Next, I'm gonna do the deli roll-ups. So normally I take 2 slices like this instead of 1 when I'm buying them prepackaged. These are uncured ham meat from Aldi. If one falls apart like this, I just use it as an inside piece with another one out on the outside of it so that it can be rolled on the inside and doesn't fall apart. This is what Ethan requested for what he wanted in his lunch. He didn't want to have the peanut butter or the almond butter and jelly, so I'm going to do more of these for him. And I thought this concoction was pretty unique. But that's what he asked for, so. And I normally lay them out like this so that I can kind of save time and do everything at once instead of doing like one roll and then having to dish out everything else. At least this way it makes it so that I'm not having to do so many rolls. Just add a toothpick. And it's always easier too, like putting stuff toward one side of the roll, because by the time it gets to the end like this, you might have a little bit squishing out. This is just marinara sauce that I got from Aldi. I love Aldi because it saves me a ton of money. There's other stuff that I buy elsewhere, like the reduced sugar ketchup. But for the most part, I'd say 80 to 90% of our shopping is done at Aldi. You guys could add greens in here too, like lettuce or... this week I'm not going to do lettuce in Ethan's because he's got other veggies and he usually eats his veggies really well. So he said that this is what he wanted in his roll-ups, and sometimes I'll say, no, you have to have some sort of lettuce. But this week I'll let it fly. Okay, on to Tiana's. So for Tiana's, I'm doing uncured turkey. Actually, I think this might be chicken. I don't remember which one I got. It is chicken, uncured chicken breast. And again, I just do 2 slices, and that way they stay together better and they don't fall apart in their lunch. This is a great way to fit in greens so that the kids aren't looking at a green salad and like, oh, I don't want to eat that. And also a great way to like hide any nutrients that you want to get in them. So for Ethan, I'll probably send along some mayo for him to dip his rolls into, or some ranch if he wants. Otherwise, he could just eat them like that too. But I like to have some sort of healthy fat to keep them full longer. That's why I'm adding butter to Tiana's. And she doesn't really like mustard. So I'm just going to add the greens, the butter, and then wrap them up, and she can dip them in ranch if she wants. Now don't put these later in the week because the greens will get soggy and then they don't really want to eat them. Really try to buy organic or get vegetables from our garden that are organic, but sometimes you just can't afford it. And so what I do then is if we don't have the money that week to do that, I will buy half and half, or sometimes I'll just buy like the regular and not get organic. It just depends on what you can do, and if you can't buy organic, you can't buy organic. You can still eat healthier than the standard American diet and without eating all organic. Okay, I have a muffin pan that I greased with coconut oil. You want to make sure and put something non-stick on here. And then in a medium-sized mixing bowl, we're going to add in 2 eggs, 3/4 cup of almond flour, 5 tablespoons of softened butter, and then 1.5 teaspoons of aluminum-free baking powder. If you don't have aluminum free, you can get regular baking powder. Right, and then you just mix it up. And you'll get a consistency kind of like this. It'll start to puff up because of the baking powder. Then I fill about each muffin spot halfway full. And you'll want to have your oven preheated to 350 degrees. Then I set that on the side and I cut up these uncured hot dogs. I got these from Aldi and I really like them because they're inexpensive. They have no nitrates, no nitrites, and are low in carbs. One whole link has 2 total carbs. And you don't want to cut them too thick or they won't squish down very far into the batter. And I just push them like this and flatten out some of that batter in there. And I usually put about 3 in each one. You guys can put regular hot dogs in here too. I always just say, like, if we have the money to buy the good stuff or the stuff that is healthier, organic, I try to make a habit of doing that. But if we can't, then we can't. And I have to give myself a break for those situations. I think too, initially when I first started switching the kids to eating this way, I would get stressed out about them having certain foods at school or treats from their grandparents and stuff like that. And I just had to start relaxing and give myself a break, because ultimately I'm just trying to create healthy habits for them, and hopefully they keep those healthy habits for their future. I don't try to keep the kids under a certain carb amount. It just depends on the day. If they're home eating all day, then it's probably close to 40 grams of total carbs. But if it's over that, I don't stress about it. They're kids, they burn off a ton of energy, and I'm just trying to create good habits for them. Okay, then these can go into the oven for 350 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes or until they're golden brown, and I'll show you what they look like when they're done. Okay, I just pulled them out of the oven and they look like this. I usually pull them out right when the tops get lightly brown like this, because the pan is still hot and they'll still continue to cook for a little bit. Make sure that you completely cool them before trying to pull them out, otherwise they'll crumble. And the kids love these for dinner, or I put them in their lunch like today. All right, here's the Keto Corn Dog Muffins after they've cooled. And I just put 2 or 3 of these in the kids' lunches and put reduced sugar ketchup with them. I will put a link for the previous school lunch video that I did that I talked about the reduced sugar ketchup if you guys want to check that out. Here's another week of kids' school lunches. We have the Keto Corn Dog Muffins that are from ruledme.com. I'll put a link in the description for that recipe. And the kids all have some sort of berries for their fruit again. These are ham roll-ups that Ethan wanted with pepperoni and tomato sauce and mustard, which is what he requested. And then Tiana has a chicken roll-up with some greens and butter that she can dip in ranch. Each one of these containers have either ranch or reduced sugar ketchup in them. And then these tin foils are the peanut butter jelly cookies that I made are from alldayidreamaboutfood.com, and I will also put a link in the description for that. And Ethan decided he didn't want them, so I put hot dogs in one of his other lunches. Thanks again so much for watching. I hope that this video was helpful. If you do like it, please like and subscribe to our channel. We come out with new videos every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and we hope to see you next week.